Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 6, want to present about comparison between two things. Compare two smartphone, OPPO A53 and VIVO Y30. First of all, let me introduce ourselves. My partner is Nelli Wulandari, Nurul Huda, and me, Neha Viranica Nauly. The main point I will be talking about today are firstly, what is smartphone? Secondly, compare two things. Thirdly, about VIVO Y30. Fourthly, about OPPO A53. Fifthly, its specification. Sixthly, comparison. And finally, conclusion. Okay, next. For the next slide, Nelly will explain.
Thank you, Neha. Okay, I'm Nelly and I will explain to you what is smartphone. What is smartphone? Smartphone is a handheld telephone that has a high level of features or capabilities. Often in usage resemble a computer. So that many people interpret smartphone as a handheld computer that has telephone facilities. Compared to smartphone, on the left there is an OPPO 53 and on the right there are VIVO Y30. Features that can be found on smartphones include telephone, SMS, internet, ebook viewer, document editing, and many others. We can also add other applications to smartphone as if we were installing applications on a computer. Okay, now let's move on to explain VIVO Y53. Smartphone VIVO Y53 is an Android 6.0 marshmallow smartphone that comes with a 5-inch touchscreen. The VIVO Y53 is powered by a quad-core processor and 2GB RAM. Access speed due to two SIMs that can be activated simultaneously has a large enough power, does not run out of battery quickly because it can last all day. Now let's move on to explain OPPO Y53. The handphone A53 OPPO's first smartphone to features a 98Z Neo display screen, has a faster performance, namely by presenting the latest processor from Qualcomm. A mobile phone that is reliable in the terms of endurance that makes it last longer, namely by the presence of large battery and charging speed. Next, this table is a table of specifications for both smartphones, OPPO A53 and VIVO Y30. There are 9 specifications which will be explained in more detail the comparison. There is a screens, chipset and GPU, CPU, memory, RAM and ROM, camera, rear camera and front camera, battery, body and piece. Now let's move on to comparison. Next, for the next slide, Huda will explain.
Thank you, Nelly. Okay, I'm Huda, and I will explain the comparison between OPPO A53 and the VIVO Y30. Comparison number 1. The screen of OPPO A53 is bigger than VIVO Y30. We can find out by looking at the specification, where the OPPO A53 has screen size of 6.5 inches, while the VIVO Y30 has a screen size of 6.47 inches. Next, number 2. Semiconductor OPPO A53 is smaller than VIVO Y30. In the specification, the OPPO A53 has a 11 nanometer and the VIVO Y30 is 12 nanometer. A small size indicates the process of making chip is newer. Number 3. GPU VIVO Y30 is faster than OPPO A53, meaning that VIVO Y30 has a graphic processing unit or GPU which has a higher clock speed. Next, number 4. CPU VIVO Y30 is faster than OPPO A53. CPU speed shows how many processing cycles per second the CPU can run, taking into account all the each core or processing units. Next, number 5. The RAM capacity of VIVO Y30 is bigger than OPPO A53. RAM, it is temporary virtual fast access store that can be read and modified in any layout, allowing fast data processing. Next, number 6. The RAM capacity of VIVO Y30 is bigger than OPPO A53. In specification, OPPO A53 has a 64 GB, while VIVO Y30 has a 128 GB. Okay, for the next slide, Neha will explain.
Okay, thank you Huda. Here I will continue presentation from Huda. I will explain comparison number 7. In comparison to the photography sector, the OPPO A53 is equipped with a triple camera with a 13 megapixel plus 2 megapixel plus 2 megapixel. Meanwhile, the VIVO Y30 is equipped with a quad camera that has 13 megapixel plus 8 megapixel plus 2 megapixel plus 2 megapixel. For the selfie camera or front camera section, the OPPO A53 has 16 megapixel resolution, while the VIVO Y30 has a resolution of 8 megapixel. So, VIVO Y30 camera is better than OPPO A53. Next, number 8. For the power sector, both smartphones rely on a LiPo battery with a capacity of 5000 mAh. In the charging section, the OPPO A53 is equipped with 18 watts fast charging technology, while the VIVO Y30 still uses normal charging, which is 10 watts. So, the battery power of OPPO A53 and VIVO Y30 have the same power, but OPPO A53 better than VIVO Y30 at fast charging. Next, number 9. OPPO A53 has dimension of 163.9 times 75.1 times 8.4 mm and weighs 186 grams, while for VIVO Y30, it has dimension of 162 times 76.5 times 9.1 millimeters, which weighs 181 grams. In terms of design, the OPPO A53 looks thinner and lighter the whole. So, the body of the OPPO A53 is thinner than the VIVO Y30. Number 10. Price. OPPO A53 priced at 2.2 million for 4 RAM and 64 ROM. VIVO Y30 priced at 2.5 million for 4 RAM and 128GB ROM, and the 6 RAM 128GB ROM memory variant. The price of the OPPO A53 is cheaper than the VIVO Y30. Let's move on to conclusion. All similar objects certainly have their advantages and disadvantages, such as smartphones that have been discussed previously. For example, the OPPO A53 have lower prices and bigger ROM capacity, while VIVO Y30 smartphone have higher prices and even though the battery not fast charging. Finally, I will be happy to answer. If you have any question, you can stay in the comments below. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.